So some people have accepted the fact that the food isn't real. Like, they're just like, you know what? At this point, it is what it is. Some people have really accepted. I'm not there yet. This scares me still. I'm not there yet. But we're going to get into it, man. Y'all know how this goes. Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
What's going on?
Yeah, look at this. It's time to go vegan.
What's going on?
It's time to go vegan. Just rinse it off. That's all we did. Do a little rinse off. That ain't real chicken. You can't tell me that's real chicken.
Is it just me? Where's my organic lettuce?
What's on that lettuce?
Wrapped
That's organic.
of plastic.
Can't be organic.
Do you see the plastic right there? I've never seen my edges of my lettuce
Plastic.
look like that.
You guys, there is no way that's 80-20. There's no way. Literally, come on, guys. That's like 50-50.
80-20.
I did my grocery order from Walmart, and this is saying but you guys, it's not.
No way.
Y'all remember when Hackman came out literally the red lines were like that? Like, it feels like news, man. Like, what are they doing?
Look at this shit. It's a magnet that I got from here.
I know you lying.
The great
Ain't no way. A magnet? Oh yeah, I gotta try that.
Years, I'm also trying to put this thing together and look like the color of it.
That looks great.
Look at this, baking a potato in the oven and it exploded all over my oven. Thank goodness I had a liner. Look,
Man,
empty,
ain't no way.
completely
Ain't no
empty.
blow up.
Potatoes don't do this, guys.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't get with none of that. Did you see the pot of ground beef with all of the grease inside of it from the meat? And it just made it like it was a soup. Like a soup of grease. Nah. And speaking of that 80-20, how was we ever supposed to know? Yeah, they got me with that too back in the day. The 93-7 to 80-20. Yeah, I thought I was doing something, but now that I think about it, I'm like, how could you have known? They just threw a number on there and we believed it. Yeah, we're witnessing ourselves be cloned right before our eyes. This is cloning, a part of cloning right here. They're gonna clone us. We're really not gonna be needed, and then it's gonna be they're gonna get all our information. They're gonna know everything about us, our movements and mannerisms, and they're gonna create one of this, and it's gonna come alive like Frankenstein, and then they're no longer gonna need us.
There's a deer running. There's a deer running.
Man, he pumping his fist like he don't need to go clean up. He know he destroyed them clothes. I know where deer just came out of nowhere. And you know deer they just reckless. Like, you know a deer is reckless if it'll run into the side of your car while you're driving. Yeah. Imagine what it would have done to him if they would have connected. Yeah. Yeah, he escaped.
Heists here in the U.S., thieves making off with millions of dollars worth of Nike sneakers, targeting freight trains in multiple states. Here's Mola Lengi.
Tonight, authorities sounding the alarm after multiple freight train robberies targeting shipments of Nike sneakers in remote areas of the desert Southwest. The most recent heist, January 13th in Perrin, Arizona. Thieves allegedly using this box truck, grabbing nearly 2,000 pairs of brand new unreleased Nike sneakers. Nigel Sylvester X Air Jordan 4s, worth $400,000. Thanks to tracking devices inside some of the cargo, 11 people were arrested. In November, near Amboy, California, robbers boarding a train and grabbing $200,000 worth of Nikes, found in the back of this U-Haul in Anaheim the next day. 7 people taken into custody, according to police.
They get on it, they cut a brake line, stop that train, and it's basically a shopper's delight. It's stopping that train and then breaking into the container trailers on the train.
According to an LA Times investigation, at least 10 heists since last March, all involving BNSF cargo trains, netting more than $2 million in stolen Nikes. Authorities say criminal gangs linked to the Sinaloa cartel are behind the thefts. Well, David, some of these Nike sneakers are collectibles and can fetch thousands of dollars on the resale market, making them an attractive target for thieves. David?
Yeah, quite something. Mullah, thank you.
We are following some breaking news. Actor Gene Hackman has died. The sheriff in Santa Fe, New Mexico says Hackman and his wife were found dead in their home. No foul play is suspected, and authorities say there is no danger to the community. But authorities did not immediately reveal any information about the circumstances. They say they'll give out more information later today.
Hackman was a 2-time Oscar winner for his roles in The French Connection and Unforgiven. He was 95 years old. He had lived in Santa Fe since the 80s, and he was married to his wife, Betsy Arakawa. We will bring you more information on this as more details become available.
We are following some
Both of them, though? Both of them. Like, found. I get them saying they don't suspect foul play, but something suspicious about that. For you to find both of them in there, yeah. I'll wait, let them give them some time to do their investigation, but that's suspicious. I'm just saying, that's suspicious.
Only in New York. Wait for it.
Yo.
Oh my God. Only in New York. Wait.
Yo, Art. First of all, I feel bad for dude. You know what I mean? Having to sleep in the subway is crazy. And yeah, man, I feel bad, man. And why there are no programs for them? See, this is the issue. But I ain't even gonna go down on that tangent. Because we sending money everywhere else and we got our homeless people sleeping in subway with rats. With rats. Now, how did he get them to... That's the crazy part about it. It's almost like he had them trained to lay in there with him like they was his lookouts or something. I don't know. They're not really good lookouts, though, because when that dude came, they scattered. They ran.
Yeah, Billy. Oh, Billy. Oh, yeah, Billy. That's a gator getting the gator. Holy shit. There go Billy. That's his roommate right there.
He's done that before.
I didn't even have to know, but it's in the top left-hand corner that it's Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. I knew it had to be Florida. Like, I don't know what it is. Y'all Floridians, man, y'all different. Y'all different. I am not walking. Them little jokers got speed, bro. Those jokers can move, especially the little ones. Nah, y'all different. I give it to y'all, man. Y'all are different. I ain't doing that.
After hearing from constituents like this.
You are doing us a disservice to set that down and not stand up for us.
Republicans are now hitting the brakes on in-person town halls. That's after several Republican members received quite a bit of pushback over President Trump and Elon Musk's cuts to the federal government. And that has led to viral clips, negative headlines, and overall public blowback that Republicans worry could end up costing them votes. Now, GOP aides have told us that has led leaders to encourage their colleagues in the House to avoid this format altogether. They've even gone as far as to say that if they feel the need to have a town hall, they should do it virtually or even vet the attendees before they get in the room. But even those formats might be off the table, with one Republican lawmaker telling us that these heated exchanges have so spooked his colleagues that they might not want to do town halls at all. After hearing from constituents,
yeah, we had to know this was coming. If y'all haven't checked out, like, I reacted to a few of those town hall videos, man. Those people are upset, and I was just waiting because I knew we were going to eventually see one that got really out of hand. Really out of hand.
Republican members of Congress are feeling the heat from their constituents over President Trump and Elon Musk's cuts to the federal workforce.
So we're going to have a town hall. And I'd like to stand in front of you and take your question, but if you're one just yell at me, that's not going to be a Victor Town.
While the House was on recess, many of these members of Congress had their first opportunity to hold town halls since the start of the Trump administration. And many of them, even those in some Republican-heavy districts, got an earful from their constituents.
You'd be represented by you if you don't have a voice in Congress.
Are you willing to use your subpoena power to say, Musk, come in here, stand in front of Congress and answer some hard questions?
The executive branch is running Doge, but under our Constitution, only Congress has the power of the purse. Some of their actions have hurt your constituents. When are you going to wrest control as the Congress back from the executive and stop hurting your constituents?
These contentious town halls could be an early sign of what's to come for many of these lawmakers as Americans start to feel the real impact of these Doge cuts. Many of these lawmakers are up for re-election in 2026, so they'll have to walk that tightrope of appeasing the president and their voters.
All they say is the American people, the people, the people, the people. It's about the people. Clearly it's not. And people are starting to wake up and realize that it's not. And that could be scary for them. That could be really scary. This next election for local, for the presidency, like all these upcoming elections, they're gonna be pretty interesting. I'm anxious to see which way people swing this time. Like when Trump's term is up, to which I don't know, he may try to pull something to where he may, do away with elections. I don't know. You heard him hint at it before, but when his term is up, like, it's going to be interesting how they go about bringing the next president in. It's going to be interesting.
I think that the right way to handle a situation like that would have been to probably say it was, nobody's business, and to resign, or to find a way of staying in office that was not lying and not throwing a young person who was just starting out in the world under the bus.
Lewinsky, of course, is referring to what happened back in 1998 when news broke of that 18-month-long sexual relationship between Clinton and Lewinsky. She was a White House intern at the time, in her early 20s. It had a huge impact on Lewinsky's reputation, a huge paparazzi and tabloid headline-making situation here. It followed her for years. You see her there. Some of these pictures, she's just mobbed by cameras even years later. It, of course, led to an impeachment of Bill Clinton. He was acquitted at a Senate trial.
It's interesting that she has talked about in some of the interviews she's been doing lately about why she was going into this and getting into this. And she mentioned that as she was putting together this podcast and working with a young person in all of this. That young person was born in 1999. And that was right on the edge of when all of this happened to Monica Lewinsky. And she realized that this was a whole new audience, a whole new group of people who might not know anything about her story.
It kind of felt for me like it was the next step for my own reclaiming and my own experiences of having lost my narrative almost my life at 24. In many ways, that's in the bones of the show. I think this idea of losing something and getting it back. I think that...
Dang, she was only 24? Wow. I didn't know she was that young. Like, remember, this was so long ago. I didn't know she was that young, though. and that she was an intern. But I think she played this all wrong. I mean, look at Kim Kardashian. That was supposed to be how she was supposed to, take this and run with it. But she didn't play it, I don't think, the right way. Even though Kim and her are two different situations, but if you look at Kim Kardashian, the way Kim took that thing and ran with it, she was supposed to do the same thing. I don't know what happened. Maybe she didn't have the right people around her.
This could have been done in a much more genuine and relevant way, and it really wasn't.
Today, people have been given 15 minutes to collect their belongings and go home. The mood is sad. People don't understand why. They've been trusted public servants for decades, and all of a sudden, they're no longer trusted employees.
We're cutting off millions of children from food to save ourselves pennies on the dollar. Again, less than 1% of our budget. That's not a saving. This work is literally life and death for some people.
I love the work that we do. I really care about it. I felt like we made a difference. And to see everything disappearing before our eyes in a matter of weeks, it's very scary to me and depressing.
Powerful, evil men are politically targeting a lot of good people who have dedicated their lives to something bigger than themselves. They're treating us like the enemy they have been for months.
I have to tell you, I'm so afraid.
Stop, Gayle.
I am. I'm so afraid, but I'm also so excited about it. When they asked me around Thanksgiving, I was like, no. Then I started thinking about it. I met with favorite daughter Kirby, favorite son Will, Oprah. That's my kitchen cabinet. They will all be there that day with their spouses. And I just thought, what a unique opportunity. And then yesterday, I met the crew. We're now the crew. We're all on a text chain together. And their stories are so amazing. One, Aisha was told, your dreams are too big. Somebody else was told, women don't go in. We'll introduce you later, but one mom said her son, when he was a little boy, and she said she was going to space, his kids at school said, you're a liar because moms don't go to space. And now she's going. Somebody else is a sexual assault survivor. Katy Perry she's a different kind of dude. She comes from a totally different planet. It's been her lifelong dream. Lauren Sanchez, we all know, she flies helicopter pilots. She's a philanthropist. She's an author. We know, of course, that she's engaged to Jeff Bezos. So all these people, this has been their dream. This was never my dream.
No. Yes, but Gayle,
it was never my dream. And somebody said, well, maybe you need to have new dreams, Gayle.
No,
maybe
but Gayle,
actually,
that's
good
advice. And it is. I think it's so awesome.
I don't know how to explain being terrified and excited at the same time. It's like how I felt about to deliver a baby.
Oh, but Gayle, here's the way I thought about it when I heard the news. First of all, I'm proud to be at your side every morning and sit with you and to know that you're going into space. When we were children, astronauts didn't look like me and you.
I know.
And what I thought of
Astronaut's a loose word, what you're talking about.
Yes, but you're going into Astros. And
I know.
So to me, that's what you're going to be after this journey. And I thought immediately of that
I'm shaking right now, even though...
Here's what I thought. I thought of that Maya Angelou quote where she wrote that the desire to reach for the stars is ambitious, but the desire to reach hearts is wise. And you've spent decades reaching our hearts. You're going to go into space and tell us what it's like to be an ordinary person. You're not John Glenn. You're not Neil Armstrong. You're Gayle King. Yeah. And the way that you're going to be able to relate that story back to those of us who have followed you and watched you and have been at your side and not been at your side for all these years, that's the true value in what you're doing.
I had a big birthday, as you guys know. You were both there. And I thought I wanted to open myself up to new adventures and step out of my comfort zone. And once Kirby and Will were fine with it and Oprah was fine with it, I was surprised because I thought Oprah would say no, but she said no. She said, I think if you don't do it, when they all come back and you have the opportunity to do it, you will be kicking yourself. And she's right.
I don't think you can possibly say no. We spend our whole lives as journalists. I don't think you can possibly say no. We spend our whole lives as journalists. You spent your career as a journalist. You talk to people here on this planet. Very few of the billions of us here get to go up there and look back down.
I have to tell you, I'm so...
It'd be pretty easy for me to say no. Watch this. No. No. Bro, she's literally shaking. She started off, you could tell she was about to cry in the beginning. Like, just say no if you don't feel up to it. I get the significance of it, the importance of it, You know everything that this means, what it means to little girls that look up to her, all of that. But if you're not going to enjoy the moment, then don't go. She looks like she's horrified, scared out of her mind. And I get conquer your fears and all of that, carpe diem, seize the day, all of that type of stuff. But it's okay to say no too.
Students across the country are posting images of what's on the menu at their schools in a new phenomenon called lunch shaming.
How is that milk? Cafeteria food has always been the butt of jokes, but this isn't funny.
Look at what they're giving us at lunch.
Students disgusted by what they're being served are taking their beef online.
Look at this. This is the main meal. It looks like puke and applesauce. Nasty.
In Paterson, New Jersey, parents are up in arms after images of moldy food and expired milk were shared online. Can you even tell what this is? Apparently, it's supposed to be a chicken cheesesteak sandwich.
It was disgusting. And I definitely would not feed that to my children. I'm not sure that I would feed it to my pet.
Before the pandemic, many schools used to make lunch in the cafeteria. Due to staffing shortages and budget issues, those days are gone. Now, lunch is prepared by outside vendors. Students in Woodbridge, New Jersey say the food is inedible.
Students across the country are posting.
Listen, we all talk trash about our lunchroom food. I used to say this saying all the time. It starts off Monday, spaghetti. By Tuesday, Wednesday, it's lasagna one of those days. By Friday, it's shepherd's pie. Like, literally, that's what I used to say about the food. You know what I mean? Most of us, I can't speak for everybody, but me, I only ate on chicken day. And I know that's a stereotype, but it is what it is at this point. Wednesday was chicken day for us. You could recognize it. It was easy to see. It was good. Yeah. I eat that, maybe one of them little rectangle pizzas or something like that, maybe. If they got fries, I eat that with some fries, and that was it. That was it, bro. I couldn't eat that stuff. Not in our lunchroom. No. Talk about not healthy.
A Twin Cities woman thought her cash and valuables were literally money in the bank.
But then she discovered more than $60,000 and her family heirlooms missing from her safe deposit box.
For 25 years, she kept her valuables in a box at a bank. Last year, when she moved them to this Midwest One branch in Golden Valley. Last month, Wade went back to pay the annual $35 rental fee and to pick up an old picture inside.
What's going on? Where's all my stuff? I'm like, oh my God.
But what Wade says makes it even worse is what's spelled out in her lease. The bank isn't responsible to cover any of the contents in her safe deposit box.
How do you get away with selling safety with a clause that says you have no liability?
Dave McGuinn is a former banker and founder of Safe Deposit Specialists in Texas. He trains bank workers how to better protect some of the 25 million boxes across the country. McGuinn hears of at least a dozen cases similar to Wade's each year. He says FDIC insurance covers only deposit accounts at banks. Box items aren't covered.
A Twin Cities woman.
The irony. Safe deposit box. Safe deposit box. Wasn't nothing about that whole situation there safe for her. All her stuff. Like, that's, yeah.
Donald Trump, and take it with a grain of salt, has promised full transparency when it comes to most of the big conspiracy theories of the past 60 years, something he campaigned on in the lead up to the election. The issue led to an absolutely Hall of Fame interview clip.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
Yes, I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
Yep, Epstein. Sure about that? Maybe not Epstein. I wonder why Donald Trump wouldn't want the Epstein files being made public. I mean, here he is in 1992 dancing and leering at women with his buddy Jeffrey Epstein at Mar-a-Lago. In 2002, Donald Trump said Jeffrey Epstein is, and I quote him here, a terrific guy. It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. I wonder why Donald Trump wouldn't want the Epstein files to be made public.
Listen, I said the other day when they didn't release them, and she said, they're sitting in my office and on my desk right now. I said then, okay, all right, we already know. It's like they cooking the books or something like that. We're not getting the original. We're getting something possibly that's doctored. You have to believe that.
Thing is, many members of Trump's base do. The Republican House Oversight Committee sent multiple letters to Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding the Epstein files be released. Bondi then went on an apology tour to Fox News, promising the documents would be released imminently. Today, the White House made a big show of handing a bunch of conservative influencers binders labeled the Epstein files, Phase 1. But the whole stunt was a bust.
What's interesting is we're all waiting for bombshells, we're all waiting for juicy stuff, and that's not what's in this binder. That's not what's in this binder at all.
It is the biggest disappointment I think that you'll find. I encourage you to do your own homework on this. We
knew, like, people went up there, what did they expect to get? They thought they was going to get it all? No, you're getting what they want you to get, period.
It's mostly procedural jargon, Glenn, heavily redacted.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, the Florida Republican leading this charge, said of the binders, all caps, "This is not what we or the American people asked for, and a complete disappointment." And the Republican-controlled House Judiciary Committee made a post claiming to link to the Epstein files that actually directed folks to the music video for Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. Sarah Fitzpatrick is a senior investigative producer for NBC News who's been covering this story, and she joins me now. Sarah, first, what are the files? My understanding is there's a lot that's already public, and this was basically stuff already in the public domain. Do I have that right?
Yes, absolutely, Chris. Essentially, almost all of this, we believe, was already in the public domain. In fact, if you look at the exhibits that they linked to...
So they put out a link just basically confirming everything that you already knew. If you had any doubt, this is what we're going to give you to confirm here.
In their press release, it says that these were trial exhibits at Epstein's alleged co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. So most of this information was shown to a jury in some form. And our colleagues sat in the courtroom, as did many members of the American public, and have already seen this information. Some of it is heavily redacted. For example, there's something that they identify as a contact list, which has been known as the black book of contacts that Epstein had. But, this is just this is information that not only was already out there, but doesn't shed any new light on anything that moves this story forward. And honestly, I think my colleagues who are at the Justice Department today kind of described it as a very surreal, kind of haphazard release, almost like a theatrical stunt. And I think that was in part the point.
Yeah, I guess there's a substantive question here, which is, this has become a kind of MacGuffin, a sort of plot device for a certain part of the conspiratorial right, that there is some bombshell list of names that they, whoever they is, don't want you to know, that will expose the, pedo sex trafficking globalist or whatever your bad guy of choice is. It's not clear to me that anything like that exists, that there's a thing being hidden that's not being released.
Chris, I've been on this story for over 7 years. I've interviewed, at this point, I think over 100 people who were involved in this investigation, who worked for Jeffrey Epstein, who were close to Jeffrey Epstein. And what I can tell you is that I think that this story in some ways has taken on a life of its own. This has been thoroughly litigated in courts, in civil litigation, in private settlement discussions. And yes, there is a huge volume of information that has not been released to the public. For example, the 302s of when the FBI interviewed victims. Those are generally not released to the public. And so there is information that is out there. But whether or not, as you say, it contains these bombshells, you have to remember that under many, many different presidencies, jurisdictions. We've had the Southern District of New York, who had multiple ongoing investigations, even after Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's trials, into alleged co-conspirators, into Prince Andrew, into other people that were around him. And those ultimately did not come to trial. So I think, yes, there is this view. And I think it's also really important, today. Why was it today? This information is in some cases decades old. The DOJ has had access to this information for a very long time. And no one today that I talked to could give me a clear reason about why this happened today, with the exception of one very senior Department of Justice official who said that they perceived the purpose and the timing of this as a distraction from other matters. And I think that is a very, very telling statement.
I believe that. Let's throw it out. Give them something. Distract them from something else. Maybe take the heat off of Elon or something like that. I can see that. I can 1000% see that happening.